the conversion crusader, and if you're watching this, you must be into dropshipping, because dropshipping is all I talk about. Tonight, we will be looking at Facebook ads from my students and digging deep into their accounts, looking at their landing pages, trying to figure out how to get them cheaper cost per purchases, and overall, more conversions, more profit, and more money. Obviously, that's what we're here for. Now, if you are a dropshipper and you are looking for fulfillment, I have a fulfillment partner, and all you need to do is jump into the description of this video. There's a link there to the website fulfill.me. Let me just show you this website real quick before we get things started. 1 second. This is Fulfill My Store. If you want your products fulfilled and you're getting, 5 or more orders a day, this is an opportunity for you to go and make more money. Because when you fulfill from China, your fulfillment costs less. And we have fairly fast shipping these days, between 8 and 12-day delivery. If you're not shipping from China, you are potentially leaving money on the table that could be going into your back pocket. Now, Fulfill My Store links you to my personal supplier who's been doing my personal supplying for nearly 8 years now. And together, he's helped me earn about more than, I think, 14 million. I think, was it 14 million or was it 16 million? I don't know. It was a lot of millions dollars worth of sales. We've done that together. And his warehouse opened up earlier this year for the first time ever. And we were able to start taking new clients. And this is the website to go and get that. The link is in the description. Jump on here, click chat with us, and you'll get into a direct conversation with me where you can tell me what product you're selling, and I will introduce you to the supplier and get you going. All right, guys, let's go and invite my students in. Let's do this. Welcome, Freedom Clubbers, to the Marketing Reviews Call. My name is Chris, Head of Education here. If you haven't heard of me or you don't know who I am, I'm here to help. I'm here to get you better results. That's the ball. That's the game. All right. I don't know why I said it's the ball, but I'm going with it. That's why we are here. All right. Looking at today, we've got 10 comments. Let's get through these as quickly. Well, not get through them, but get to them as quickly as possible so that I don't waste your time. Hey, Renee, welcome. Amy, welcome. Have we got anybody joining us over on YouTube? Let me just post this link to everybody. Theodora and Maria, welcome. Watch this on YouTube. Actually, I did want to take a couple of minutes today and just go over some Andromeda stuff. When we have a few more people on the call, there's only 5 people on right now. Let's wait for a few more. Because we should talk Andromeda, and I think I need to talk about it a bit more, because a lot of people are very confused with what to do, and it's not that difficult if you kind of understand what you need to do. It's not that difficult. So just give me a second, everybody. Just hold on while we wait for more people. Maybe there's another call that's finishing up on the Freedom Club. In the meantime, let me get myself prepared so I can show you what I wanted to show you. I'll only be a second longer, guys. Here we go. These are the ones. That's what I want. Okay, take these down. Seven people in the call? Yeah, we can probably get started. All right, let's do it. Simon, do you guys want to learn a bit more about Andromeda? Do you guys all know what Andromeda is? That's the question. I wanted to give you a bit of an example tonight. So I've got ads up and running for this brand. They've been running for a little while, and I need to do some more ads. Think so? Okay. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go over the basics of Andromeda, what it is, why it is, and then we'll talk about what we do with this, with information, and how we make this work for us. And cool. Renee says from my live a few weeks back, you listened to the guy I referred. Fantastic. Keep listening to him. Is pretty good at it. And look, I'm going to be talking about a lot of the same stuff that he talks about. I want you guys to have a very solid understanding of what Andromeda is, why it is, and what you need to do to keep your ad strategies simple but effective. Does that sound good? All right. What is Andromeda? So, a couple of months back, Facebook dropped this new update to the Facebook interface. Now, nothing really has changed too much from our point of view. There's been a couple of extra buttons that I've seen, but what has really changed is the back end. Now, what happened was marketers like myself realized very, very long ago that in order to keep your Facebook ads pumping, in order to make more money, you needed to release a lot of different ads, like new ads, new background colors, new changes. We'd go through 50 to 100 ads in a month trying to find our winners, and that worked. And our cost per purchases were very stable when we did this, and they were very not stable when we didn't do this. Now, what this ended up doing was completely destroying the Facebook AI because we were overloading it with junk ads. It would randomly pick a winner, and if it won, great. If it didn't, we'd have to just throw more ads at it. And Facebook ended up becoming clogged. The AI just didn't know how to serve up the right ad to the right person at the right time, which is the whole point of Facebook. So this new update came out, and it's right on the heels of AI coming to the forefront. So we're now using proper AI technology to help with the ad delivery. And that's what this is. Facebook has now built this AI to deliver your ads, to know its customers, its users, to know what they're doing, when they're doing what they're doing, when they want to hear from you, and then when they want to see your product, and serving the right product ad up to them at that moment in time. That's its whole design. It's designed to do what Facebook has been promising for a long time, but now it actually kind of does it. And rather than having to have 100 different ads in a month, now we don't have to throw that many at Facebook. And rather than throwing slop at Facebook and just like different color backgrounds and different this with all the same hooks, now we have to give Facebook less of what it was after in the past, but it's asking now for more distinct variety. It's saying, hey, I don't want you to give me 50 very similar ads. I'd rather 10 very different ads. Now, how we structure that in our account is a little bit different, okay? A little bit different. And I'm going to go through that in just a second. And to show you how we might structure things in the future as I'm wanting to keep up with this. Okay, so I got that one there, and this one is my offers. I'm just renaming something here to make this a little bit more palatable for you guys. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, this is going to go over a couple of problems that we face as Facebook marketers. And let me share my screen on YouTube as well. All right, so looking inside one of my accounts here, this is a brand that I've started recently. We are selling handbags. Oh, hey Damon, how you doing? And Zayed, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for joining the stream. All right, so we are selling handbags. Now, the way that I recommend you use Andromeda is a CBO, campaign budget optimized campaign. I used to use ABOs, ad set budget optimized campaign, because it gave me more control over which ad sets would spend most money, but it's actually, I find, better to give Facebook a little bit of that control back. I'm going to show you guys how we manage the yin and the yang between Facebook having control over our spend and us not having any control. There is a sweet spot that I've found. All right, looking at the campaigns here. So this is my ABO, and inside my ABO, the game plan in here is to have different ad sets with different angles. Angles is the word I'm looking for here. Different angles. So my first angle is, and this is my original ads that have been doing well for quite some time, pickpockets. That's my original angle. Every ad in here is about pickpocketing, and we have lots of different visual styles. I won't show you all of them. You can probably look them up on my Facebook ad library if you really want. But we have different visual styles for these ads, and they're all centered around pickpocketing. So travel free, travel without worries, travel putting your passport close to your chest. Don't worry about pickpockets. That's the angle for that. The second angle that we have here is offers angle. Now, for our offers angle, we're going for how much you're going to save, what offers we have going. We have our Black Friday offers in here. We have our Christmas offers in here. I think this is one of the Christmas offers here that we're running right now. So this angle is all about offers, and visually distinct. The offer is distinct. Yes, we can mention pickpocketing, but the angle here is, hey, this is 50% off, and it's only 50% off for a limited time only. So it's a bit different there for the angles. Now the third, I don't have a third ad set. We need to make a third ad set. Now the way that I work when I'm trying to get new content is I actually have it's not an agency, but a creative director. And her job is to go and create scripts for me. Oh, you guys can't see that. Let me share this. Her job is to go and create scripts for me and go and source creators who can do what I need them to do and create for me a bunch of beautiful ads. Now she writes the scripts. We do use some AI to do voiceovers, and that way we can have our creators create a whole bunch of B-roll, and we can go and create different angles. So she's given me 3 new angles for my ads: concept 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and my job is to now put these into new ad sets and to go and get some static image ads to support them. All right, so what I will do is have a look at concept number 1. I don't know, let me pause my music down here if you're watching on YouTube. Have a look at concept number 1. Don't know if you can hear that.
The noir anti-theft sling bag.
So this is
whole trips fall apart on day 1 because someone's phone or passport disappeared in a
theft, fear of theft. Second one.
Standing in a packed station and realizing your phone, photos, and cash are gone.
Fear of theft. It's not exactly pickpocketing, but it's fear of losing your items.
Don't be the person who ends the day with an almost empty bag and has no idea where it went.
Again, so this whole concept that she's given me, 3 different ads, different clips, with the fear of theft as the main hook here, the main angle. So now what I go and do is I go and have my image guy go and create me probably 5. The goal is to have between 5 and 10 ads in this ad set. Some of them are going to work, some of them aren't. We want enough that we can turn off when they don't work, and we don't want to end up with 3 or 4 ads that kind of work. We want to end up with a bunch of ads that work well together. So I'm aiming for anywhere between like 7 and 10 ads in my Andromeda ad sets. I've got 3 here. I'll probably ask for 5 static image ads next. And the concepts we'll be going for is fear of things being missing from your bag. And I'll come up with 5 different concepts and get them made for me. Now, the second round of videos that I've got available to me, is concept number 2. Now, if you're wondering who my creative director is, I've had a chat with her, and I may introduce her to the Freedom Club, where we're still talking. And if that's okay with Austin, I'll be happy to share her details. So watch this space. Let me have a chat with Austin and make sure. But I'm working with her privately, and her job literally is to go and find the talent we're going to use. I deliver my bags to her. She does some photo shoots with them. She goes to this is all local. She goes to the houses and she films them using my bags and stuff. So it's and it's not very expensive. I think I'm paying her around about $4,000 a month in total to do this for me, and we're probably going to work together for the next 3 months doing all these. Mia, you've raised your hand. Did you want to ask something, Mia? All right, let's have a look at this one. Concept 2, hook 1.
My shoulder used to be on fire every night from dragging around a huge handbag. So I finally switched to this.
Okay, so this one's all about shoulder pain, like reducing how much is in your bag, reducing your bag profile.
Do you come home and see a red mark on your shoulder?
Red mark on your shoulder, cool. And this one here.
I was so tired of bulky bag, unsafe zippers, and constantly checking if my phone was still there. So I finally finally switched to this. It is the Noir anti.
Okay, and this one was, checking your bag. So this whole concept here will be around about big bags, like downsizing your bag. I'll make this concept there. So we'll go and get those images created, 5 to 10 images, and it will be about downsizing and simplifying and not having a big heavy bag on your shoulder. And my last concept here that I've got for this week is
The Noir anti-theft sling bag that keeps your phone, wallet, and passport safe is 50.
these are all 50% off ads. So this is 50% off offer ad. So this will be a second round of offers, because they don't really have any good offer videos. So we'll go and create a new ad set, put these in, and go and get another set of 50% off offer videos. What's the best AI tool for transforming image to video and to animate between two images? Look, Higgsfield is probably the best. It's not expensive, and it actually allows you to use multiple tools. So in here, you can use Sora, you can use Kling, you can use all of the different actual what do they call it, models to create your videos. I've had a lot of a play around with Higgsfield. I don't love AI personally. I settle for AI voices, and if you just want to do your AI voices, I'd probably recommend ArcAds, which is what my creative director uses. So she uses this exclusively. This gives you headshot videos where you can actually remove the background of these and put them in front of the clips you already have. Mia, what program have I used to store these? Okay. Yeah, good question. What is it? This is called Frame.io. Now, for those of you who've never seen Frame.io, this is what professional studios would use. I say studios. I'm not a professional studio. This is what my agency and we use these so that when our team goes and creates clips, we can actually just go in there and we can write comments on the timeline. We can tell them what we want to get fixed. So this is a way for creative people to share their work with us. It's a really cool platform. It's like Canva, or not Canva so much. What's that other tool we use for graphic design? Whatever it is, it's a cool tool. Very, very useful. So my image team uses this. Sorry, my video team uses this to send me the videos. All right. So we've got my 3 concepts. What I'll be doing in my ad account over the next couple of days. Oops, we're not sharing my screen anymore. Is creating ad sets. The name Frame.io. Frame.io. So literally, I would duplicate offers. I delete everything that's in there. I load in 3 of my new videos, and then I make 5 concept images that go along with that angle. So if I choose a different angle, I'm going to have different images to back it up. Let's just say one angle might be, what's a good angle for a bag? Just, it's cute. So I would have a whole bunch of images talking about how cute it is. Another angle might be, I don't know, thinking of angles off the top of my head is bad, but you get the concept. Now, the biggest problem that we have in doing this, in having a CBO, is, well, you probably will get a cheaper cost per conversion in a CBO. That's usually what happens. But the biggest problem that we have is Facebook, when it chooses which of these ad sets is going to put all the money in, it'll probably put 90% of your money into one ad set. And then you won't ever get to test any of the other stuff that's working. But there's a workaround for this. If you go and edit your ad set, and this is a bit to pay attention, because this is a bit that turns this around in our favor. If you come down here and we go into budget and strategy, there's a link you can click to get you to the ad spending limits section. And here you can say set a minimum or maximum spend for this ad set. You can put in a $50 a day minimum or a $20 per day minimum, or whatever minimum is whatever minimum you want that's going to make sense to you. And that way, this ad set will spend no less than $50 per day, which will ensure that after a few days, I will know, hey, if I'm only going to get one purchase of this per day at $50 per day, that ain't great. It's not great. Maybe the ads in this offer email Sorry, in these, I can't even speak tonight. Maybe the ads in this ad set just don't work. No, it's not a cost cap. That is completely different. This is a minimum ad spend on this ad set alone. A cost cap, I wouldn't recommend. We'll talk about cost caps in a second for those of you who don't know what a cost cap is. I wouldn't recommend that for this. This is a minimum spend on this ad set. It allows me to test and to test quickly. Because if I didn't have this, this one would only have spent like $10 and I would never know if this ad set even had potential. But now I know, hey, these ads aren't working. Get in here, Chris, and have a look at the copy, have a look at the headlines, go and figure out what to change. And I can do that. And then tomorrow I'll spend another $50. And if it still doesn't work, I can just turn it off. And I can just work on my next round of ad sets. Now, Mia mentioned a cost cap. So what is a cost cap? A cost cap is usually set, I can't remember if it's set at the campaign level or the ad set level. Let's have a look. I probably have to do one from scratch. So we'll do a sales campaign. Once you've created your campaign or your ad set, you can't go and actually make it a cost cap. It has to be done from scratch. How do I do it? This is testing me. More settings. Campaign strategy. Cost per result goal. This is generally a cost cap. A bid cap is another way of doing this. There are two different ways of saying a similar thing. A cost cap is saying to Facebook, I only want you to bid if you think you can get me purchases for under this amount. Let's do it for under this amount of dollars. Well, it's not asking for it yet. So we're setting it here, cost per result goal. It must be in the ad set then when we actually set that goal. Where is it? Purchase, maximum number of conversions. Well, yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. Okay, it's not asking me to set that goal. Let's just have a look through all these settings. I must have missed something. Cost per result. Yeah, that was it. Cost per result goal. All right. Let's go and here it is. Here it is. Sorry for clicking around so much. I can now set to Facebook. Okay, this is ad set level. So the campaign must be set to cost per result. And the ad set level, you choose here, what is my cost per result? Let's say I want $30 conversions to be profitable. I'm going to say to Facebook, great, go and get me $30 conversions. And you're probably thinking, holy crap, Chris, you've just given me the secret sauce. This is what I've been missing. I should absolutely go and do a cost per result campaign because I am not profitable and this will ensure my profitability. And you know what? It probably would. But it's a double-edged sword. If you set your cost per result to $30, Facebook will do its best to get you costs around about $30 per purchase. But two very important things. Number one, if it can't get you those, it just won't spend any money and you won't even know because it won't spend any money. It'll just, you'll go to bed at night, it's spent $5 and you're going to be wondering why it hasn't spent. Okay. It's because it couldn't get you that cost per result goal. Second thing, if you do say to Facebook, get me all the traffic in the world, but only if you can get me a cost of $30 per purchase, it won't actually bother advertising to the people who may have cost more to get the purchase, but you would have got a bigger sale. So you think people who buy in bulk 3 or 4 products at a time and the bigger basket size, it's not optimized for that. It's optimized for people who just buy one product. So that's what a bid cap is. And no, I wouldn't recommend doing a bid cap. You might want to throw one on just to see how it goes. I find it works okay for about a week. It takes a few days before it even gets you anywhere near close to the cap that you've suggested. And once it does, it doesn't necessarily last very long before you just stop spending. I would much prefer to spend and get a higher cost per result and try and figure out what I can do on my website to reduce that cost per result and try and figure out, more importantly, what can I do in my website and my emails and even my ads to increase my average order volume? Because that is how we win at e-commerce. We don't play the game of chasing people to the bottom. This isn't a race to the bottom, people. Okay, we're not trying to get the cheapest cost per purchases. If that's your game, you aren't going to win in e-commerce. The only way to win in e-commerce is to be the business that can actually afford to bid the most and spend the most money per customer, knowing that you have a good product a good service, a good website, people like your product, and they're going to come back. That's the whole game here. And more importantly, that they buy more from you than they buy from the competition. So yes, your cost per purchase can be higher than the competition, but the people who buy from you buy 2, 3, or 4 products, increasing your profits and allowing you to expand even further. And that is the secret to scaling. All right. That's enough from me, guys. I hope that helps. Let me know if that solidifies in your mind what you need to be doing to make Andromeda work for you. If you have any other questions about how Andromeda works, please let me know. Am I using like the concept of breakthrough advertising awareness, sophistication? I mean, kind of, but it's not that I'm using that on purpose. There's like Facebook kind of requires us to do that these days. Casey, is there a way to limit the actual ads? For example, 5 creatives under one ad set, one ad is getting, yeah. So in terms of your individual ad sets, no, we never really want to limit Facebook's spending inside of an ad set. It will pick in an ad set. It will pick the ad it feels is the top of funnel ad. And that's what we're really allowing Facebook to do. Facebook is going to build a funnel out of your ads here. It's going to pick the top of funnel. It's going to pick the bottom of funnel. And it's going to allocate the spending in that order. So a lot of the time, and this is something that is very, very tricky. A lot of the time, one of your ads will take 98% of the spend. And sometimes it will be profitable and sometimes it will not be. And the decision you have to make isn't not an easy decision. Do I keep that ad on knowing that it's got a ROAS of 1.5, knowing that my ads down the bottom of the campaign have a much higher ROAS and a much smaller cost per purchase? Do I keep my top of funnel ad on? It'll be really obvious to you which is your top of funnel ad, because your top of funnel ad will most likely have the lowest cost per result and also probably have the lowest, sorry. Let's back that up a little bit. Your top of funnel ad will probably have your highest cost per result and your lowest ROAS. And hopefully the ads below it that get much, much smaller spend will have a much higher ROAS. Now the question is, what do I do, Chris? Do I turn off that ad that's spending all of the money and hope that another top of funnel ad comes in and does better? In this campaign in particular, I've had 2 ads that were neck and neck. Well, not this campaign. There was another campaign with very similar ads that were neck and neck between 2 big spending ads. I had one spending $1,000 and I had one spending $800. They both, the one spending $1,000 had a ROAS of 1, cost per purchase of like it was like $75. That's not profitable for me. The next one down had a ROAS of like 2.5 with a cost per purchase of $30. And I was like, great. My average here is pretty good. My average order cost was $44 per purchase. But I should be able to, I need to get this lower. I want to make this lower. What do I do? So I thought, just for a couple of days, we'll just turn off the top of funnel ad. Just turn it off and just see what happens. And it was kind of funny because turning that ad off meant that my cost per result for the ad below it went up to $70. My ROAS went down to 1. It behaved just like the top of funnel that I turned off, except there was no ad beneath it to pick up the sales. So my average cost per result went up when I turned the worst performing top of funnel ad off. So the reason why we're doing this with Andromeda, we're bundling our ad sets here with 5, preferably 9 to 10 ads. You don't have to have a hard and fast rule. Around that sort of ad set level is pretty good, right? We're trying to figure out what's the average cost per purchase of this campaign. And yeah, you can fool around turning some ads off that don't perform and just sort of tweak it to try and get your best performance. You absolutely can. But ideally, we're trying to then try again and make another set of ads that work as their own funnel and comparing how they all do together so that we can choose which of our ad sets actually perform the best. That's the whole thing we're trying to do here. Does that make sense to everybody? So when I tell you guys you need more ads and you need more concepts or more angles, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. And this is probably the easiest way for me to explain it now. Took me a while to get there. I hope that's clear with you guys. If it's not clear, please let me know in the chats. Please let me know inside the marketing reviews in here. Let me know if you're confused with what you need to do with Andromeda. I will absolutely come and help. I'll give everybody just a couple of minutes to get any questions that you have. Even if you think it's a stupid question, there are no stupid questions. Thanks, Mia. I hope it was. I hope that was a good explanation. For me, what really turned my ads around was finding that minimum spend on ad sets. I don't know how long that's been there for. I only found it like a couple of weeks ago. And that's what enabled me to do this in the way that makes sense to me. What's the best size for the ads and images at the moment? It's for images, I do find squares work really well. And the reason why I like squares is they can be put into multiple locations on Facebook and still look good. But for videos, I do prefer to just have a straight up 9:16 Instagram style video. Kelly, what about audience targeting? So the only audiences that I'm really targeting, like if I have a fresh account and I'm starting a fresh store in a fresh pixel, I will try and suggest audiences there. And I'll suggest, if it's a bag store, I suggested handbags. And more importantly, I suggested engaged shoppers. I even did like people who I did engaged shoppers who are also in handbags. And that did really well. As this store has sold more and more and more products, I think I've been running it now for a few months. And I think we've done, I don't know, 50,000 maybe. I can't remember. It's quite a big number. Now, when I have these ad sets, we just go pure broad targeting. It's because the pixel is seasoned, and it just like when I first started, it was slow to start getting those orders in. But now the ad sets kind of just find the right people. So audience targeting gets less and less important the more seasoned your pixel is. Florian, when I launch new concepts with 6 new ads, you create a new ad set for the concept, or do you launch in the existing ad set? I always create a new ad set. I don't ever want to touch my ad sets that are working because these will come out of learning and they'll be consistent. The last thing you want to do is mess with them. This concept allows us to just slice off $50 off the overall budget of the campaign for testing a new concept. And if it works, it'll take off. And if it works and another ad set is getting more of the ad spend, I can then go and change the minimum ad spend on the new ad set. Give me a little bit of control to give a bit of a push to Facebook and say, hey, push more on this one. This is the one I want to test. It seems to have good results. Give it some more minimum budget. So this enables me to still let Facebook spend where it thinks it needs to spend, but to have a little bit of control on my end. Benji, makes sense regarding the angles, creatives, ad sets, but regarding the campaign structure, are you just running scaling campaign or testing campaign structure? Look, with this concept, I don't even need to have a testing campaign anymore. I can literally just duplicate an ad set or just create a new ad set in here and test whatever the hell I want in that without affecting anything overall. I like to keep things really super simple. Now, if you do have a standout ad set, you could, if you wanted to, you could duplicate the ad set out into its own campaign. You could have that as a scaling campaign and scale that alone if you wanted to. If you find on your account that horizontal scaling, that's what I mean by horizontal scaling, duplicating an ad set into a new campaign and giving that as budget. If that works for you, brilliant, do that. That doesn't work for everybody. That doesn't work for all products. Some accounts can do horizontal scaling and some accounts require it depending on the products. And sometimes you need to do more vertical scaling, which is just assigning the increase of budget to the one campaign. But this concept here enables things to be super simple. And I like simple because I manage a lot of accounts. I'd much rather have things simple. So for home craftology, for example, I've got the same structure. I've got one CBO, and I've actually only got one ad set in there because it's got to the point where I know exactly which ads to use, and I haven't had to change them in ages. So I've literally just turned everything else off, and we only have the one campaign, one ad set, and we're scaling hard at the moment on that. I think we're up to what, $1,000 a day. I'm hoping to get up to $2,000 by the end of the year. That'd be lovely. in ad spend. If you want to, oh, that was the same question. Oh, wait a minute, that's a different question. If you want to test 2 or 3 new creatives, okay to just do own new ad set. I'd still put 6 things in there. If you've got 3 new ads you want to create, hopefully they're like, the whole concept here is to group these by angles. So try and plan to come up with groups of angles. And if you've got 3 different ads and you want to test them, cool, okay. How about supporting, if they're 3 different angles, how about support them with, another 4 static images in each one, and then release 3 different ad sets. And that way you're giving a really good test of 3 different angles to see which one's going to work for you. Like, I really thought my offers were really going to work, but at $51 per conversion, I'm not so sure anymore. But having them grouped like this really enables me to test ideas rather than just testing ads. I'm testing ideas. That's the difference here. We used to test ads. Now it's more about testing concepts, and then building a system where you have. And look, these videos, they came from these ones here. They came from somebody that I found on Upwork. I put out a job. I need a creative director on Upwork. I need someone who can take existing video and edit it into story-based videos. And so she does this on Upwork for me. She's completely separate. Like, I'm not telling her what to do. I'm giving her all of my videos, and I'm saying to her, I need you to go and research the competition and come up with angles that are unique and new, but also based off what you think might work. And so she brings these to me, so I don't have to think too hard about what my next angle is going to be. And honestly, selling handbags as a man isn't that easy. I welcome the female touch in this brand. So you got a clear winner in your last testing ad set, duplicating them into a new scaling campaign for Black Friday. Should you turn off the winner in your testing now? Or let me think about this. You got a clear winner in your last testing ad sets, duplicating them into a new scaling campaign for Black Friday. Cool. Should you turn off the winner in your testing ad set? No. If it's working, never turn it off. It's okay to duplicate into a scaling campaign and scale that to the moon. You can scale 2 ad sets at once. I'm pretty sure there's not a problem anymore. And I have seen marketers in the top end doing that and suggesting that as well. If an ad set's working, don't effing touch it unless you're adding more budget. And even if it's a testing ad set and you want to add more budget, you can do that. You can add more budget to a testing ad set if it's working. Just because you call it a testing ad set doesn't mean it has to only be a testing ad set. Sean, in your scaling campaign, you need to select use existing posts on them, right? If you want to follow the freedom formula, yes, we should be using post IDs to grab your existing posts. If you're not doing that, I don't do that. Maybe call me lazy if you want, but I don't personally bother doing that. And the reason why, what's my reason why? I find it clunky. If I'm doing that, right? If I have an ad that's done well and I want to use the post ID, I can't go and edit the text or the headline. And let's just say I want to take an ad that was working well and spin a new angle on it with a new headline and a new bit of text. I can't just do that using the post ID, which I find it too constrictive for me, and that's why I choose, my personal choice is to just not bother with the post IDs. But you do you, and if you're following the course, definitely try that first. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I'm making a big mistake here. Maybe having the post IDs would be far better, but completely up to you. It's optional. All right, let's go answer some questions. If you got more questions about scaling, about Andromeda, please, by all means, continue asking the questions as I'm going through these. Mia, you've also learned that when you do that, Meta favors the ad on all the comment that gets all the comments, so your other ads don't get enough spend. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Meta loves engagement. Sometimes engagement is someone clicking the angry icon on your post. That's engagement. Sometimes it's just someone looking at your video. That's engagement. Sometimes it's sharing with your friends when your post is stupid or makes no sense. That's engagement. So sometimes Meta picks the wrong ads as the winner because Meta's goal isn't to make you money. Meta's goal is to make itself money while not pissing off its audience too much. And by doing that, like, but if that's the goal, it will pick the best ad for them, not necessarily the best ad for you. It picks the best ad per engagement, and not all engagement is positive. All right, Renee, can I look at your trimmer campaign? You've raised the daily budget from 20 to 50. You added your Shopify triple whale stats in the comments. Should you let it run and get some money in the bank, or would you suggest something else? Great conversion rate, great sales rate. I don't know what this. Oh, so you've made $124 this week? Yeah. Let it run. If you can afford to and you're making money, let it run. I know that things become tricky to bankroll. You know, you've spent all this money on the course, you've spent money on ads, you've spent money on subscriptions, and I know it can feel like a bit of a pain. Like you want to get that money in the bank as soon as possible and start building those stacks. But sometimes we just got to keep reinvesting to get that scale that we need to get to the point where those stacks are stacking up. So my advice there is, yeah, if you can put it up to 50 and you're still profitable, great, because you're going to have to test it at some point. And if you go to $50 per day and you're not profitable, like don't do it, and then the next day not be profitable and go, shit, Chris had to turn it off. Don't do that. Go to $50 a day. Hopefully you can afford to have it run for 4 to 5 days. Give it time to catch up. Give it time. So I recently, on one of my campaigns, I went from $100 per day where we were getting $25 conversions. Great, happy days. I thought, you know what? I'm not here to mess around. I don't have a lot of time. I'm just going to pump this up to $250 per day. So it's now at 250. Today's sales weren't that great. I'll tell you, we had the same amount of sales today at $250 that we had yesterday at $100. But I'm not touching that budget. I am not putting that budget down. My sales were great at $100. What's happening now that I've raised my budget is Facebook is reaching, a lot more people that are fresh that it was reaching yesterday. And it's going to take 3 or 4 days for those people to convert. So while my first day was crap, and sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you got a really good product that people just want to jump on. And sometimes you put your budgets up and it just works. Other times where on a product where it takes a little bit of salesmanship or salespersonship to get that working, sometimes you got to give it a few extra days. Well, those cold people that you've just targeted with your new budget starting to warm up. Ziad, am I using a pre-sales page? Personally, no. I don't use a pre-sales page. I don't see the point. I have done many times in the past. I've tested everything that you can possibly test, and I never found that having a pre-sales page had any impact on my conversion rate in a positive way at all. Renee, should you leave it a little while before you raise the budget? No, look, I just raise it. Just if you can afford it, Renee. If $50 per day for the next 4 days is not going to destroy your account, absolutely raise it and see what happens. Because if you don't, you're never going to know, and you're just going to stay at this one point. So you've got to back yourself at some point. Give it a try, and then let us know how you go. Amy, review Home Vibe. We got 3 videos from Mohammed. They're running in a text ad set with a week. Let me know. Okay. Okay, Renee. I'm so sorry, Renee. I misread that. Oh, so you've made more money this week than last week. You're up 34%. Raise it by 20%, Renee. Raise that sucker by 20%. And then in 3 days' time, if you're still making more money than you were before, raise it by another 20%. If the cost per purchase starts to rise too much to the point where it's eating into your profitability, back off for a few days. If it doesn't get any better, back off even further. And when I say back off, I mean, like, if you've raised it by 20%, things are looking good. You raise it by another 20%. And then the cost per purchase is creeping up and you're not so profitable at the moment, stop raising it. Wait 3 days. And then if the cost per purchase hasn't come back down again, then you just take 20% off your budget. And we just play this game, trying to see if we can push Facebook to get us better results at a cost per purchase that makes sense to us. You're worried you'll get no sales for another 2 days? That's okay. Listen, if you're running $100 a day and you go 1 or 2 days without any sales, don't panic. The worst thing you can do is panic and take your ads off. Remember, at $100 a day, you're going to have days where you make a ton of money. You're going to have days where you make no money. At $100 a day, you're getting around about maybe 50 to 100 people to your website, and 50 people is not a lot of people, not a lot of people there, right? If your average conversion rate is 4%, you might get 0 sales, or you might get 2 sales at 50 sessions per day. If you're spending $300 or $400 a day and you get no purchases, that's probably time to panic. But at $100 a day with no purchases, don't panic too much. If it's a once-off, you know what I do when I'm having a bad day is I go into my email account and I create an email campaign, and I create a discount, and I send out a really good deal to my entire email list, and it usually makes up for the lost sales that I had from a bad day on ads. All right, Renee, moving on to Amy for Home Vibe. Text ad set with a week. Let me know your thoughts. All right, let's check out Home Vibe. Hopefully you guys found that useful today. I know there's a lot of people asking for questions to get answered in the thing today. I just thought I'd drop some value, if that's all right. All right. Ad spend. $1,600 on your steam cleaner. $500 Black Friday ad set. You turn that off at $50 per purchase. Wasn't doing that great. Fair enough. Tough Stains ad set. $77 per purchase. Turned off. That's running. Okay. So we've got 2 running. Scaling and Tough Stains ad set. Okay. Cost per click is pretty good. CTR is okay. It's okay. Look at the Tough Stains CTR. Oof, 2.6. Let's look at this one. This is kind of promising. Maybe. So test 2, pretty good. Test 4. Okay, so this is how I start to think when I'm looking at these. Test 2 is clearly a top of funnel ad at $43 a purchase. That's looking great. I know. And then as we go down, TS4 though has spent $57 without a purchase. Let's just double check. What I'm checking for here, I just want to go and customize the columns. I want to add in cart. And you guys should be doing this too. Add in my carts. I'm looking for website, add to carts. Add in my checkouts. You can save a custom view so that you have this whenever you look at Facebook ads. When I've got a bad result here, I just want to double check that, if we were getting a load of checkouts and add to carts here, that'd tell a different story. We've had 1 checkout, 1 add to cart, and no purchases for $57. I would probably turn TS4 off. Probably. But yeah, it's not a strong ad. It looks good. You've done a good job with the graphic design. I don't think it's strong enough in what we're doing because it's not really clear what they're cleaning from my point of view. You could try and do a similar ad with a different image in the background where it's more clear what they're cleaning, and maybe that'll work a little bit better. Maybe. So TS4 I would turn off, and then that would bring this ad set to life, I think. Okay, now Tough Stains. No, we've got Steam Cleaner scaling. Okay. $39 per purchase, $31 per purchase. Damn, this is looking nice. Amy, how much money have you made this month in profit? 800 and 500 and 100. The Rubbers is lovely. Oh man, I'm so happy this worked for you. So C1 spent $73 for 1 checkout. This is probably the only one that I'm on the fence about whether or not we keep. My inclination here is to turn it off, but the Rubbers was fantastic, so I'd just probably give it more time and see how we go. Renee, you let the coaches know you don't have to post your profits here if you don't want to. Let the coaches know your profits, and we can figure out if we need to upgrade your account. Well done. What I would do, 20%. Add 20%. See if that cost per purchase stays profitable, and start scaling, Amy. Profit only $1,200 a month. You mean you only made an extra $1,200 a month out of nothing while testing? For a lot of people, that's somebody's wage. And you did that while testing and while building your awesome business. That's fantastic. And Elisa, RE ad spend says 5 ads an ad set. If your minimum daily ad spend to $10, does that mean no? So your ad set will spend no more than your maximum daily spend, and some ads will get all of it or nearly all of it. Some ads will get very little of it. All right, Max. You've invited me to your ad account, Blue or Nova Smile. I'm not sure the name. Can I please take a look? I might be able to, but I'm running short of time because I rambled on. Hopefully adding some value. Hopefully. That's not the ad account I need. So I'm running low on time. I don't know if I can accept those invites, but I will have a look to see if I can find them, and then I'll accept them offline, and then we can look at them next time I'm on. So Blue, you reckon? Yeah, I've been invited to Blue. All right. Max, next time I go live, we will be doing a report for you. All right. I am just I'm putting that on my screen to accept after this. Theodora, made some changes to your website and launched new ads. Can I please review Bright Minds? All right. Spent $34 in the past 2 days. No results. What have we got in terms of clicks? 8 link clicks. The cost per link click is very, very, very high. So then that must mean the CPM is very high. Oh, $124. Doesn't like this. But that could come down over time. What I'd like you to do is spend another 70 to 80 bucks on this. Just run this for a couple of days, but let's just check your actual ads here. Give some feedback on them. $14 on the benefits. Okay, not terrible. Approved by kids, trusted by parents. It ran for 4 days. Okay, maybe I need to give you a bit more time here. $38 per purchase, but you've turned it off. That's a great ad. That's cool. Why did we turn this one off? Right. Could be onto something here. That's a good ad. C9 gift. Come on, Facebook. Give me my data. Here we go. CPMs are very expensive. Oh, cost per clicks. Okay, so when I see link click-throughs like this gives me hope. Anything above 2% is really, really good. What you're struggling with is the cost per clicks are insanely high. These are way too high. This isn't anything that you've necessarily done. The reason why these are high is because your CPMs are through the freaking roof. Here we go. Sorry, my bad, guys. Through the roof. One second, guys. Okay. Why would CPMs be so high? It can come down to sometimes the targeting. Maybe these are really maybe kids are really expensive to target, but I don't think it's that. It can come down to maybe people thinking, what the hell is this? I'm going to click on it. And if enough people click on it just out of interest, they don't understand what the product is, they're just clicking because they're I don't know, they're intrigued and they need to know what it is. That's not buyer intent. And sometimes what happens is the people click on here and then very quickly realize what it is, realize they don't want it, and they F off. Oh, they go away. And that can give Facebook an indication that you have a bad website. Not saying you do, just saying that that can give that impression. And Facebook will give you a high CPM in response to that. You've automatically applied my discount. I do find it's best to give a code. And please get rid of the... Exactly, Mia. If the ad is clickbaity, but not specific what the product is, that's exactly right. If the Wheelio, if you could get rid of the little tab on the left that pops up with the Wheelio, then that would be good too. All right, glow board. So the big problem that you have here too, the pop-up happened, and it said just click this button to apply the discount. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. You should give me the discount code inside the pop-up, because when I clicked it, it took me back to the homepage. You've now broken the buying cycle. My buying chain is broken, and I'm back to the start. Nobody likes to do the same job twice. And I might be here going, well, which product was I looking at? Screw it, I'm out. And you've lost the sale. So your pop-up needs to have the code, and hopefully you would have sent me that code also in an email. Bright Minds, welcome to Bright Minds Club. And I got my welcome 10 code here. Your first email looks lovely. Terrific. Well done. Well done. We're just going to fix that pop-up and then turn off in Wheelio. There's a preview, or I think it's called a preview, or maybe it's called a something. That you got to get rid of that little Wheelio pop-up on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. All right, now awaken the inner artist. I like that. Keep kids engaged with that screen. Magic free, mess-free magic, zero stress. It's actually pretty good. Nice landing page. It's written well. It's nice and simple. Yeah, this should work. This should work. What we got to do is get that CPM down. How do we do that? When I first started my Stones and Ash website, my CPM was about $150 as well. And the more I ran the account and the better I made my landing page, the lower my CPM went. And now it's back to normal. So it could just be a matter of time of running this at a low budget before that CPM comes down. I'd like you to keep your eyes on that CPM and keep coming to these calls. I like this ad, and I'm just wondering. Yeah, definitely. I want you to turn this ad back on, but I'm just wondering if we could make more stuff like this, but also make it more clear what the kid is doing. The angle there is great. The toy kids don't want to put down. Keep that angle going, but try and use some different shots. I'm not saying don't use that ad. It'll probably be really good, but also try and use some different shots of what the product is. Oops. Sorry. Thanks, Mia. I usually have this set so that it just switches whenever I change tabs, but not today. Like, this is a great image to have with that same angle, and more like this, where it's clearer what the actual product is. I have a feeling that because of the user experience, because of the pop-up taking me back to the homepage and people probably shutting the page down, I have a feeling people were rage quitting your website. And that could be why the CPM is so high. So I want you to work on that. Work on making this a more cohesive experience with the pop-up. I'm just going to refresh. Give me 1 sec. Loved by instead of saying loved by thousands of happy kids, I'd consider changing that back to the angle that's working in your ads and putting in like the toy that kids won't put down, because that was a very strong ad, and I think it would look better as your product image. All right, that's all I have time for today, guys. I've got another call coming up that I gotta jump into. For those of you who I didn't get to, I do apologize. I hope you got a lot out of the beginning of this video, because pretty much gave you my entire strategy for Andromeda. Now, I won't be here on Thursday, guys. I am traveling to see my family in Canberra. I will be back on Sunday for the product research call. And I might see if I can go live on YouTube. I don't know if I can get Austin to schedule me another call, but I'll see if I can go live at some point when I get back to make up for being away on Thursday. I will see you all in the next one. I hope you have a great week, and I hope you had a great Black Friday. You got a lot out of this one. Awesome, Sean. Awesome. I'll make a note to keep doing these types of value add videos to help you guys along. If you could let me know in the comments the kind of things that you want to see more of, I'd be happy to show you. You guys know I'm an open book. I show you guys everything. I get in trouble from my business partners because I show you guys too much. I don't care. I want the best for everybody. All right, guys. Speak to you later.